Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race Race and Strategy Guide. We're off to Lago Maggiore full course in reverse and we are in the Group 2 machinery. Now this is a race that we've done before in Gran Turismo 7. Around about 8 months ago, just at the release of PSVR 2, this was Daily Race C at the time. The settings are pretty much identical, although there was one very slight change. We've got 10 laps to get round, tyre wear at times 7, fuel at times 2. Soft and medium tyres are available, both compounds of tyre are going to be mandatory. BOP is on, damage is light, it's a rolling start, and slipstream is real. The only change to this race from when we did it last time is there will be the addition of being able to change the brake balance, and I am predicting there will be some changes that you can make to the suspension as well. Now you're saying, why are you predicting that, Bombo? Well, we're kind of doing this video old style from when we used to do these race and strategy guides. I used to get them prepared on a Sunday afternoon, which is what I'm doing with this one, rather than more recently we've been doing the race live on the Monday morning and then making the video after that. Now I've been really enjoying doing the Daily race and strategy guides that way, and I think I'll be continuing to do it that way in the future, but at the moment I'm not going to be available on Monday morning, so I have got this video ready together. Thankfully, we could tell from the settings it was going to be the very same race from that week back in PSVR 2 released. So anyway, we're going to be in the Honda NSX 2016 for this one. Now, there was one change to the physics have definitely changed, but I did believe there was a tyre wear rate change to the game since we last did this one, so I was predicting this one was going to be a little bit different to when we last did it in terms of how long the tyres were going to last, but to my surprise the tyre wear seems to be almost identical to the last time we did it. Now if you remember this race from last time, the tyres wore out very quickly, and on the soft tyres here that we're starting on in the Honda NSX from 2016, you can see that we are about to run out of soft tyres at the end of lap 4 when we have the full fuel on board and we have also warm tyres. Now I'll talk about the warm tyres a little bit later because it doesn't make a difference to whether you start on the soft tyres or whether you move on to the soft tyres. But yeah, we're not going to get another lap out of these soft tyres, so into the pits we are going to come now. Pit loss here in Group 2 is pretty short. You know, Lago Maggiore is not quite like Catalonia from last week with its 30+ second pit stop. It's certainly a lot quicker, and then Group 2 obviously is a lot quicker than Group 4 as well. So car is into the box, fresh set of medium tyres on, soft tyres and medium tyres both mandatory. Be careful of the white line on the exit and also on the entry, and your pit loss is only going to be around about 14 seconds. Fuel, no issue whatsoever in this one. You'll maybe burn off around about 40% of the fuel by the time the race ends. So yeah, once you come out the pits your tyres are going to be a little bit cold, so be careful in the first few corners until you get them nicely warmed up. But only 4 laps out of the soft tyres, 46.8 there. The degradation very high. Once you burn off 50% of the tyres you definitely start to lose a little bit of lap time. And in terms of how are these medium tyres looking, well, you can see from the telemetry bottom left hand corner, 6th lap on the medium tyres, you're certainly burning through a good bit of the tread. In terms of performance, around about a second off the soft tyres when they're nice and fresh and they've got plenty of grip. And you can also see that the lap times also drop off quite significantly on the medium tyres as well, because you're actually wearing them out quite a lot. But yeah, 4 laps on the soft tyres, 6 laps on the mediums. Really surprised by how little we managed to get out of the soft tyres, but 18 minutes 16.9 the finishing time for starting on the soft tyres and finishing on the mediums. So let's try the alternative strategy, starting on the medium tyres, and we're going to pit at the end of lap 5 on this one, because we got 4 laps out the soft tyres when we started on them with the full fuel and the tyres warmed up, so we should be able to get an additional lap out the soft tyres with a little bit less fuel. And also there's a big thing, I don't, maybe PD don't give this information, which is a little bit strange, but when you come out the tyres, when you come out the pits, your tyres are actually about 10 degrees cooler than when you start the race. So temperatures mean a huge amount in the game in this in terms of tyre wear, so you can actually get an additional lap out of the soft tyres just purely through the temperature, and also the fact the car is a little bit lighter. So temperature and weight are very much factors when it comes to natural tyre wear, if you like. Obviously driving style is the other big factor that comes to tyre wear. But you're going to see here, even at that, we are struggling to get 5 laps out of the soft tyres, coming very close to a womble disqualification, but I can assure you, it may not look like it on the video, but we did finish with a sliver of tread on that front right tyre. But yeah, there was definitely not another corner in it, let's put it that way. In terms of finishing time, we finished about 8 tenths slower than our first run. Just didn't quite get the performance out the soft tyres at the very beginning. So we'll talk about the strategy options in just a minute. Let's just talk about some of the other cars that are available. I wanted to test some of the other cars just to see if there's maybe some car out there that was amazing on tyre wear. So the Nissan GT-R 2016, you can see the front tyres are completely gone at the start of lap 5, so very similar to the NSX. I would imagine the Lexus from 2016 will be very similar. Moving on to the Lexus SC430 from 2008. Definitely getting a little bit more out of the tyres, but definitely a bit slower than the 2016 cars as well. Around about a second a lap slower, although we did get to about maybe 4 3/4 laps in this car. Imagine the 2008 Nissan GT-R might be fairly similar to this, and I don't think anybody's going to risk using the 2008 NSX. And finally we have the Mercedes CLK GT-R. Very often the car to go in Group 2 when there is very long straights involved. But this track is very much a handling track. You need a car that's very fast in the corners. You can instantly feel when you move into the Mercedes that you do not have the same downforce. Although in terms of tyre wear, it did manage 5 laps on the soft tyres, although it was about maybe 1.6, maybe 1.8, maybe even 2 seconds a lap slower than the 2016 cars, but kind of rules it out being usable. So I think this one is very much a battle of the 2016 cars. The Honda NSX, the Lexus RCF and the Nissan GT-R. Now they tend to be very, very well balanced in terms of performance, those 3 cars, so I don't think one's going to be particularly faster than the other. We did have a wee go of the GT-R and the NSX. In terms of tyre wear, they look fairly similar. And yeah, let's just talk about the strategy options now. Now, it does, on the face of it, maybe initially look like there's quite a few strategy options for this one, but it's actually fairly one-dimensional because there's really only a certain length of time that you can actually use the tyres. It's not like you can kind of, you drive them to a certain point and then they're completely dead and you have to change them. So, in terms of strategy, if you start on the soft tyres, you're only around about 4 to 5 laps. On the mediums, you're then doing 6 laps or 5 laps. Obviously, starting on the soft tyres, they're up to temperature when you start the race. You've got the full fuel, so they do burn out a little bit quicker. And your alternate strategy, I think most people are going to do this one. Certainly if you're starting anywhere below, I'd say even P3, you're going to start on the medium tyres and move on to the softs. Now, some people will do 4 laps on the mediums and then just drive the softs dead at the end. But they're going to be sort of running a full lap on dead soft tyres, I would imagine, maybe even more than that. So I'm guessing maybe sort of 5.5 is going to be the optimal way to do it if you still want to have some tyre tread left towards the end. Some people are going to be forced to even do 6 laps on the mediums and just 4 laps on the soft tyres if you happen to maybe be particularly bad on tyre wear. But yeah, that is pretty much this one in a nutshell. The strategy is fairly narrow, whether you start on the soft tyres or the medium tyres, which is a little bit of a shame. But it's just the way that things are with this current tyre wear model. I've actually been doing some comparisons between the old tyre wear model using GT Sport and the current tyre wear model, and it's amazing how much the strategy has been limited by this change to the tyre. So with the update coming, hopefully, well, we think there's an update coming this week. I'm hoping that we maybe revert back to the old tyre wear model to give strategy much more relevance in a race like this. So let's move on to finish off the video with a lap guide of Lago Maggiore in reverse, the full course Honda NSX. We've just got the stock settings because I don't know what's actually going to be changeable at the time, and we've got the brake balance at 0. Coming into turn 1, you're looking for like the start of the yellow sausage curb on the left hand side. Probably don't want to get as deep as that. Very easy corner to run wide. Get your right hand wheel on the curb there, end of the curb is your braking point, down into 3rd gear, let the car drift out wide and then just off the throttle, you let the car roll round. Once you see you're going to keep the car on the track, accelerate out, it's full throttle down this sector here, although you do have to get the line right, and as the tyres start to wear you might have to start to give a little bit of a lift, and also the dirty air is going to be a factor in this one. It's going to be a factor in the strategy as well. You're going to hear dirty air get mentioned a lot. Whenever it's Group 2, it's just the way it is. You either learn to cope with it and alter your driving, or you just let it, ruin the race for you. I tend to find a different way to drive the car is just the way to go. Just brake a little bit earlier, turn in a little bit early, predict the understeer, and you can kind of minimise it as best as possible. Doesn't mean it goes away, doesn't mean it's any less of a pain, but yeah, it's definitely something that is going to be a factor in this one. It's what you'll probably see why a few people will go for an early pit stop. They'll pit off the medium tyres on lap 4, because it means they just get track position, and then they'll hang on with the dead tyres at the end, and hopefully other people struggle with the dirtier. Now I do apologise, because this was meant to be a lap guide and I've just kind of been diverted and talked about a whole lot of other stuff, but there will be other lap guides out there from far better people to guide you around this track in a Group 2 car. I do apologise. Watch out for that wall though, I will give you that tip. Watch out for the wall on the left hand side. You'll definitely see somebody in that wall at some point. It's always pretty funny as long as it's not you. But we did a 46.8 there, certainly nothing spectacular, and yeah, it should be good fun. We'll certainly live stream this one on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we'll maybe see if the update comes on Thursday, what changes that's going to bring. Will it bring dynamic weather to this track? Maybe that's just something they might add in, sneak it in there in the update, and all of a sudden people are not going to be expecting that. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye now.